So what is up, guys and girls? Let me start this one off by saying thank you for clicking onto this video. If you're like me, then you guys want to learn how to install your tires, and that's what we're going to do today. All right, so we're going to be working on this bad boy over here. It is called a Spark CycleWorks BANDIT. These are the standard tires that come with the Spark CycleWorks BANDIT, and today we're going to add a little bit of color. We're going to add some white walls onto this ride because I think it's going to make it look that much nicer. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this one. Besides the tires, what you might need is some type of a stand. And if you don't have that kind of a stand, you can use this kind of a stand. I picked the hottest day to be working on a bike. I am sweating and the work hasn't even begun. All right, let me start this one off by telling you guys that one of the things that you do not want to do when you are changing your tires is to flip the bike upside down. Now, I should correct myself. If you have hydraulic lines, you do not want to flip the bike upside down. When you do that, you could introduce air into your brake lines. So do not flip that bike upside down. Looks like the first thing that's gonna have to come off is the chain and the brake caliper. We will be using a 5mm Allen to get the derailleur off. The chain is oily, so I'm going to use some gloves. All right, the next component I want taken off is gonna be the caliper, the brake caliper in the rear, and you're gonna use a 5mm Allen as well to get that off. Something to keep in mind is that after you have this removed, do not press the brake handle. All right, once it's removed, I just let it dangle. I found the open end wrench, and let's get this nut off. And that was awfully loose. Let's do the other side. Now I do see washers on the inside. Besides the derailleur, in this case the dropout needs to come out as well, because it looks like the wheel goes down. It doesn't slide back. Now, remove the dropout. Now let's get the wheel off. Just keep this in mind that I am doing this at home with what I have available. Sometimes, and I hope this is not one of those times, but you should take your bike to a shop to have it work on. Oh, there we go. Yep, this is going to be one of those times. Alright, so once the wheel comes off, it looks like I should have removed the derailleur completely. Let's see if I still have a chance. And I do. Alright, so I have to cut off two zip ties, and then the motor wire gets unscrewed. And you know what, just so I can work comfortably, there's a fourth zip tie right here. That one's coming off. Now that I have some slack on the wire, these should unscrew. Just like that. I get that chain out of the way, just let that hang. One tip is maybe have a buddy of yours help you out when you're doing this. Alright, once most of the air is out, we can probably get this off with our hands. This is an e-bike tire. It is not a motorcycle tire, so they are relatively easy to get out. once one end of the tire is removed, it's easy to pull out the inner tube. Alright, once the inner tube is completely removed, we can work on getting the other side of the tire off. And once the tire is completely removed, we can begin the installation of our new tire. If I am not mistaken, there is no arrow to indicate the direction of the rotation of the tire. Alright, that was really easy. One side just went in so smoothly. Now we'll get our inner tube back in there. And after the inner tube is installed, we can work on getting the other side of the tire onto the rim. Alright, now that the tire is installed, I can fill it up with air and then try to get it back on the bike. Wish me luck. One thing I want to mention is that the condition of these tires are fairly new. There's never been any punctures in them, and if you're in my community and need a set of tires for your e-bike, reach out to me, comment section down below, Instagram, DM message me, and these tires are yours. Now that she's full, it's time to mount her back on. We have to get the brake cable and the chain around the axle. I'm going to try to get the brake cable first. Alright, I had to get the chain first and then the brake cable. So yeah, this is definitely a pain in the ass. Especially for someone with little to no experience like myself. That's great. Oh, here we go, here we go. Here we go, all the fucking problems in the world. This is exactly where you take it to somebody. You do not attempt to do this shit on your own. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna get this one out, but we will try. Okay, well, kickstand's doing his job right now. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Alright, as you can see, I fucked up the... This is day number 2. And when I say day number 2, what I really mean is it's been about 4 days since I started this project. Now, why the hell would it take me 4 days? Well, I'll break it down. I was hoping to reuse the existing inner tube that was inside here, and for some way, shape, form, or how, I punctured it. These are the inner tubes that I need, that I should have been prepared for and had on hand when I started this project. Now look at how tiny that hole is. I didn't see it when I fill it up with air. You can hear it. So what I'm gonna want to do is take the tire off and feel around for any maybe spokes sticking out or any sharp edges along the sides of the rim over here. So all I'm doing is just running my hand along where all the spokes stick out, as well as along the side wall of the rim. Alright, let's get that tire back on, and then the inner tube. When installing the inner tube, remember, skirt, shaped like a skirt. Alright, so we're gonna start here with the air valve. The reason why we put the inner tube in a skirt shape is to avoid puncturing it. If you need to use some type of tire iron, how to Now she's ready for mounting. If you don't remember how it goes back together, a good rule of thumb is to take a photo like I just did. I'll show you now. Alright, the chain is lubed. You don't want to get your hands dirty. Put on some gloves. Alright, so you can see I use the wrench to hold up the tire. I'm sure there are other ways of doing this. I got the caliper back on, and I am just ever so gently tightening this. Alright, on this side, I'm going to try and mount the dropout. Now I'm trying to mount the derailleur. I'm having some trouble with the derailleur. I'm going to try and take this off of the stand so I could rest it onto the ground. It didn't sound like that before. She's working, but it sounds strange. It sounds weird. Something's not right. I'm gonna have to check with the professionals. I spoke to the professional, Mac Mittens over at Powerful Lithium, and he gave me a little tip. He said to use this adjustment point over here and twist it so that the sprocket, the bottom sprocket here, lines up with the top sprocket over there. I'm gonna do that now, but before I do that, I want to pedal it the right way, because I was told that pedaling it backwards is not the way to do it, and that could be why it's sounding funny. I just don't remember it sounding that way. Alright, that sounds a lot better. Alright, after some adjustments, I think she's good to go. I'm just going to try to tighten this up a little bit. After everything is buttoned up, we will reconnect the phase wires and tighten the locking mechanism. I will add some zip ties to secure the motor wire. The back tire is done, now it's off to do the front. I'm going to start off by loosening up the axle. So we have a nut and a washer on both sides, and this looks like it just slides right down. Unlike the back, the front fork seems to be doing a good job of holding up the bike. So I am pretty confident that I can leave that alone. And it'll sit just like this for the time being. Just be mindful, do not hit the front brake lever. First thing we're going to do is take the valve cover cap off and release that air. Once enough of the air has been released, I will attempt to take the wheel off. I didn't mention this before, but the rotor is the most sensitive part of this rim wheel, and when you lay it down, if you're laying it down and you don't have a tire stand or wheel stand, rim stand, whatever you want to call it, if you don't have a stand, I would lay this end on the ground. You want to avoid bending the rotor. Okay, so now we're going to repeat a lot of the steps that we did before with my hands, because this is a very thin tire. I will remove the tire off of the rim wheel, and after that I will try to remove the inner tube, starting at the valve, working my way all the way around. Now, although I have a new inner tube, I am going to try, and I hope I don't kick myself in the ass for this one, but I'm going to try and reinstall the existing inner tube. So I want to make sure that I do not puncture. So I want to make sure I don't puncture the inner tube when I reinstall it. I'm just passing my hand over the entire wheel to make sure the spokes aren't coming through. There is some type of a lining over here. The lining actually protects the inner tube, and I do not feel anything sharp or any punctures. So I should be good to go. Which, because they're e-bike tires, they're really easy to put on. Alright, once one half is on, I will put the inner tube in. Once the valve is in there, then I can continue to install the tire. After the tire is in, I'll fill it up with air. So far so good. I think I'm ready to install this onto the bike. And that was way easier than the back. Hand tightened before I crank down. And I want it tightened evenly, so I'm going from one side to the next. Because I worked on this bike, I know right now that these nuts are on securely, but periodically it's good practice to always tighten these before you go out and ride. Alright guys and girls, I am done, and she is looking pretty good. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to clean it and take it for a ride. Hi, Mackie. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right, hear me out. The motor spins when I hit the throttle. The brakes actually brake when I hit the brake, and the derailleur makes and the derailleur makes absolutely no noise whatsoever. It sounds perfect. So did I do a good job?
Yes, you did a good job.